Parents, what do you know about your kid that they think you don't know? Whenever our son, 5 years old, isn't allowed to touch something, we firmly say no. He usually tests us out a bit by very slowly moving his hand towards said item while looking at our face and waiting for the exact moment we say no. This is how he tests us, and incredibly funny and kind of tough to keep a straight face. He now figured out a way to circumvent the system. He looks the other way while slowly moving his hand towards said item. Surely if he can't see us, we can't see him, right? Well, we are onto him. Edit, no, he is not a cat, we have a cat, and trust me, that cat is a lot smarter. My wife was the one to make the discovery, but she doesn't use Reddit much, so I'll share on her behalf. When she revealed to our 7-year-old son that we can see everything he's searched on any device, he got terrified and embarrassed. The worst thing we found was YouTube searches for stuff like people showing their butts or smooching. Edit, since this blew up, I should point out that my wife sent his sister into the other room so she could talk to him privately. We accidentally caught him looking up inappropriate stuff, and then only after he tried to deny it revealed that we can, but have not yet, view all web traffic on our router. Also, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. I have a 3-year-old, and every morning she comes into my room and crawls in bed with me for another 30 minutes before we get up. She has started doing this new thing where when I fall back asleep she will kiss my cheek and tell me how much she loves me. It's a small thing, but I love that she does this even though she thinks I'm asleep. There are a lot of hard things about being a parent and having to wake up early with a toddler, but her sweet little voice telling me, "I love you so much mommy," makes it all worth it. Also, sometimes she will bring me a stuffed animal to cuddle with too. I don't have a kid, but when I was growing up my dad's house had a hole in the hallway wall that was well above our heads, but we could still reach it enough to throw stuff in it. So that's where we hid candy wrappers, bad school papers, etc. He never said anything to us about our secret hiding spot, so we always assumed our secrets were dropping under the house and were gone forever. He eventually went to patch it up, and before he did, he said, "I want to show you guys something," and lifted us up to peer into our hole of sin while laughing hysterically. It wasn't even a foot deep. There was a cross beam right under it that we couldn't see, so everything we were tossing in was extremely visible from adult height. I know his hiding spot for hide and seek. I know exactly where he is. Hell, I can see him. Behind the stroller isn't the greatest cover. I can hear him too, as he answers my exaggerated, "Are you behind the couch?" with "No." But I'll still look for him everywhere, until he creeps out and shouts, "BOO," so I can gasp and be ever so surprised. Because toddlers can be fun, if you play along. Edit, RIP my inbox. I can't reply to everyone, but keep the cute hide-and-seek stories coming. You're all amazing. My second son, despite being brilliant, is a hoarder and has hygiene issues, and I have serious concerns about his mental and physical health status. He thinks I don't see him hiding his dirty clothes, not wiping or flushing. I don't actually see that, but when you emerge from a bathroom flush less and wipe less, I understand more than you think I do. And this is among a few other serious problems. I don't know what else to do to help him figure out how to human appropriately. He's already on meds and counseling. But he thinks he's smarter than God and so doesn't listen to anyone. I'm seriously concerned he's going to end up engulfed by drugs, alcohol, and other substance abusive behaviors, and it will ruin him. But yep, I see and smell and notice all the things you think you're doing so sneakily. When I was little, my sister and I used to occasionally get in pretty big fights. Punches left bruises, and we'd get in trouble if there was evidence. She was really pissing me off one day, so I got the brilliant idea to bite myself and blame it on her. One problem with that, there's more than 5 years between us. Bit of a difference between a 5-year-old's teeth marks and a 10-year-old's. I was astounded when my mother somehow knew that my sister wasn't to blame. She never revealed her secret. Got her, though. We started biting each other by sinking our teeth into the top of each other's skulls. All the satisfaction, no marks. Not apparent, but something my mom knew I lied about, but let me believe she didn't know, was that one time I had 2 Fs on my report card in middle school and I was making excuses as to why I didn't bring it home for a week. She told me to bring it home or else. When I went to homeroom at the end of the next day, I jumped on a computer and forged a fake report card with a C average appearance. Little did I know my mom had gone to the school to get my report card that same day. And when I got home she asked for my report card. I gladly laid out the fake and she said, "Oh, that's not too bad. But I have your real report card right here, and she pulled out the real one. Got grounded for the rest of the school year for that one. My eldest stepdaughter, 14, borrows my clothes and returns them to my closet when she's done wearing them. Not that big of a deal, but I really wish she'd ask. She goes to great length to deny that she likes my style of clothing. She will hide them in her book bag and change in the bathroom at school. I've tried buying her similar styles in her own size. She's a medium, I'm a large/XL, but she still always goes right back to mine. I'm honored that she likes my style, even if it's in secret, and hope that one day we can use this as a bonding experience. My eldest son, 13, still sleeps with his plush Dalek at night. He waits until his brother, they share a room, goes to sleep, then gets it out of the top of the closet and sleeps with it, and returns it to its place in the morning. I hope he never grows out of loving something so dearly that he just can't part with it. My middle stepdaughter, 11, and youngest daughter, 10, are full-on pissed that they weren't born as twins. Seriously angry about it. So, they created their own not twin club and have their own secret language. The scary part is that they actually act like twins sometimes, to the point that if one of them is upset or hurt, the other knows about it without even being there. I hope they are always this close and share that special bond. My youngest stepson, 9, leaves treasures for the rest of the kids to find. He has no clue that everyone in the house knows it's him because he isn't the least bit sneaky, lol. He will find a pretty rock shaped like a heart and leave it for one of the girls, or find an interesting looking old coin and leave it for his brother. Sometimes he'll stumble across a discarded marble or something similar and leave it for his father and I. He swears it's the backward pirate that does it. I love that he has such a giving heart and hope he continues doing for others with no particular reason in mind other than to see them smile. My son is alarmingly frank about sex, which is my own fault, seeing as I ran a sex-positive household. His brother is alarmingly prudish, though. Go figure. I know more about his kinks than I'm guessing his GF would really prefer. But the one thing he has never confessed to me, because he knows I would disapprove, is that he relies on pulling out for contraception. His friends, assuming I would know that along with everything else, unwittingly ratted him out. Edit, he's been sexually active 8+ years without a pregnancy, so I'm guessing his partners, yes dear, him and keep taking their pills. He does, at least, date smart girls. I know he'd come for abortion help if he needed it because he's referred friends to me for that. My daughter, adult now, still doesn't realize I know she is bi. My now adult son doesn't realize I know he is an ass man and was sending dick pics and watching porn at 14. I just made several conversations about how I can't believe how many people under 18 are doing this and it's considered child porn. If parents found it could press charges. The dick pics stopped overnight. My kids thought I never knew anything, but was convinced I was a witch who could find them anywhere and was just a sudden neat freak that always found their stashes of whatever. That my 13-years-old daughter writes shitty manga-type sex stories. I don't even really care about the sex stuff. I know kids explore or whatever, but the writing itself is so bad. Like the grammar, sentence structure, spelling. It's a hot mess. Also, sometime later I brought up talking about how sex/foreplay/relationships and all that BC once again, the stories, are just terrible. It was only one journal/book I had found, and I haven't looked at anything again. I picked the composition book up thinking some missing school work was in there. I wasn't snooping. It wasn't her school work, but I think she needs to focus more in English. BC the writing was crying inducing. My daughter is vegan. Almost entirely. She also has struggled with an eating disorder. We're in counseling and she's okay right now, but sometimes she eats non-vegan food items. We don't talk about it. I don't call her out. The way I see it, she's doing her best and none of us is perfect, especially me. My husband and I are meat eaters. I cringe every single time someone tells us we should make her eat what we're eating, or she's living under your roof, or when I was a kid, we had to eat what we were given. They have no clue what we've been through in her 18 years. How she starved herself so much at one point she was passing out, how she lost her cycle for months. Like, but out people. I've also struggled with addiction and believe that in this mess, we've taught her that she has a choice what she puts in her body. I think that's a very valuable lesson for a teen to learn. My 19-month-old nephew, I know when he hides in the corner, it's because he's pooping. He's still in diapers. My 15-month-old daughter, I know when she snores she's just pretending to be asleep. It's a test to see if I'm leaving right away, so if she's snoring I always stay put until she stops because then even if she's not asleep yet she's calm and relaxed and it doesn't upset her when I leave. Both, I know they honk their noses when they're playing together because I'm always watching to make the honking sound. My 7-year-old thinks that she is too old to be tucked into bed or cuddled but she still wants to be. So she tells me that she is cold and needs me to warm her up. We live in South Louisiana lol. I'll take any excuse to cuddle her, smiley face. I used to whisper to her after she had fallen asleep, "Thank you for being my baby." Then I'd get up and go about my business. She was not asleep and whispered back, "Ah, your big girl." That was that for the tucking in. Now she's is too big because she's not my baby anymore. I know my son's a crossdresser. He's in his 20s, straight, and loving life. He just likes to cross-dress in his spare time and there's nothing wrong with that. I've known since he was 12. A note to all teenagers and preteens, you're not even close to as sneaky as you think you are. Edit, wow, this really blew up. I commented below how I found out, but some other things I would do is, since I knew what his fashion tastes were, I would buy things I knew he'd like that might be closer to his size and put them near the back of the closet or shoes up front where I knew he'd find them. Also, even though he never found out I knew, when he was mad I used to love telling him, "Don't get your panties in a wad." He never caught on, but he probably always wondered. I'm the son, went to Catholic school K-12. We could get detentions for things like untucked shirt tails, talking during mass, or when at the age having a 5 o'clock shadow. We didn't have buses so my mom would take me to school. Every time I got a detention I just told her I needed to be at school early, our parents didn't have to sign the paper. Well, turns out they called and emailed our parents about it. I basically lied to my mom's face every time and she never said anything until I smugly brought it up one day in college, very rude thinking back on it, and she basically put me in my place and told me she knew every time. I am a mom of 2 boys, 10 and 8. They don't tell me everything but I like to stay open so they tell me the majority of things. If it means something to them, I want to know. This has led to me being able to tell when something is bothering them. Last week it was another kid getting bullied at recess that day. We spoke with a teacher and it stayed anonymous so my son didn't worry about getting targeted. I don't always bring it up, but when they get home from school and something is just a little off, I can tell immediately. I think it will be important as they get older. I had this fling with a girl coming out of high school that I never told my parents about. To them I was always hanging out with my friends when I was with her. One time I was going to go on a little trip with her which I told my parents was a trip with friends like usual. At dinner before the trip they looked both me dead in the eyes and told me, "Mako, no grandkids." Also, my mom likes to clean my room and swap out my rug and stuff while I'm away at college. This past semester there was a condom that must have fallen behind my bookshelf because when I got back it was neatly displayed right in the middle of my cleared off desk. This is how I know they know I be fuggin'.